Hi, Sally Hancock here, and I was going to make this pretty card for my mom for Mother's Day that I got from Lori Whitlock's shop. And there was no instructions, but I printed out the picture and thought maybe you could follow along with me while I figure out how to put this together. I've never made a box card, so we'll see how it goes. So the first thing I decide to do is layer the pieces. So I start with the box and fold down on the score lines and then put way too much glue on. So when you're doing it, just use a small amount of glue. Now I wish that I would have thought about distressing those light brown pieces before I glued them down. So if you want them distressed, make sure you do it before you glue them down. And then I just switched to my fine tip glue, which was much easier. So I should have just started out with that, but that's okay. It all worked out. So then I realized that I do want to distress those edges, so I get the top part of the box and distress those, and I got too much ink right there, so trying to fix that, but you can't really tell in the end. So I used vintage photo for those, and then make sure you turn the pieces around. You'll need the bottom pieces on one side and the top pieces on the opposite side because they'll get folded down. So make sure you do it that way. And just gluing all those down. Now I decide to work on the back piece. Just putting some glue here and there on the Happy Mother's Day sentiment. And make sure that's so that you can see the number 3 is right side up. And I realized I forgot the apostrophe. There is an apostrophe that cuts out, but I forgot to get it, so make sure you do that. Now I'm going to try to distress the purple flowers with, I think it's wilted violet, maybe. And then I can't see it, so then I try faded jeans, and I didn't like that, so I just decide to not distress the purple parts of the flower, and then move on to the yellow flowers using it is wild honey. That's what it is. And it shows up sort of, so if you want, you could use a brown maybe, it would show up better. So just distressing all those little yellow flowers. And I'm done distressing, and so I glue the yellow centers on. And you could do the leaves as well. I didn't think about it when I was doing it, so if you wanted to distress those leaf edges, you could do that as well. So the cut file came with some little white circles to go in the centers, but that looked kind of fussy. They'd be really tiny, so I just used my white jelly roll pen and made dots in the center of those. Now I have to try to figure out how this gets put together, so it's a little bit of trial and error for me. And I realized the smallest flowers go on the back piece, like that. Okay, then I'm trying to figure out how to put it together and decide to glue the 2 pieces together and just line up those straight edges. And I'm trying to figure again, and then here is where I made a mistake. Do not do this. So I'm thinking that maybe that piece gets glued to the back, but it is wrong. That piece actually is going to go on the very front of the box. So here I am. Oh no, don't do it, don't do it. Too late. Okay. So now I'm trying to figure out what flowers go where. On that piece, it's 2 medium and 1 big in the middle, like that. That was right. Now I'm trying to figure out if it was right. It doesn't look right. Check the picture. So I had a hard time figuring out what flowers went where, but I did eventually get it. Now I realize that I should not have glued that down. And I tried to get it up and it was down. So I just left it there and I thought that it will be okay. And so I just cut out another piece. And now I'm going to glue the flowers onto the greenery, trying again to figure out how they go. So the piece without the tabs has a big one in the middle and 2 mediums on the side, and then the piece with the tabs has the 2 big ones on the sides and then the medium size in the middle. So trying to see which side that they go on, and I'm just going to glue them to the top because they kind of hang over the top of the box, and I'm trying to figure out which direction it goes because for some reason it just didn't look quite right to me. And now glue the biggest one last and only the top. Now I have to try to figure out the best way to glue it in. So I'm going to put the back panel in first and just glue that tab, line up the top of the tab with the top score line, and then the edge of the tab with the line between the side and the back. Now I'll glue my top piece in, tucking that flower over the edge. And now I'm trying to figure out how to get the side glued on. Do the back piece first. I am sure there is a better way for this, but I could not figure it out. So that is what I figured out. So just line those up like you did the other side. Glue that back tab together, and voila, it is done. I didn't let that dry good enough, so I folded it flat and did that, and there we go. Now I cut out a piece. I duplicated the back piece and had my Cricut write on it, but I forgot I should have flipped it. So some of the white kind of pokes out, but I think it looks okay from the front. So it says, "Thanks for growing me so good." And now I'm using crystal clear Nuvo drops to put in the center of the flowers because I wanted to add a little bit of dimension and some sparkle. So I'm just figuring out how to reach all those, and this is my first time using Nuvo drops, so some of them are a little crooked, but and there is it's called Box Card Mother's Day Violets, and I got that on the Lori Whitlock shop, and I think it's probably in the Silhouette store. I don't know, I have a Cricut, so I used my Cricut to cut it out, and oh, after some trial and error, I got it done. I think it looks super pretty, and I think my mom will really like it. So, thanks for watching.